Because this is the single most important idea in my... Listen to me closely. Because this is the single most important idea in my entire campaign. And once you hear it clearly, you can never unsee it. If a bad president can come in and take away our rights, and our only fallback, our only remedy, is to hope for a good president to replace them in 4 years and give those rights back, then we don't actually have any rights at all. What we have are conditional privileges, permissions, really, handed out and taken back according to the whims, the cruelty, or the convenience of whoever currently holds the reins of power. And that is not freedom. That is not constitutional government. That is not liberty and justice for all. That's a lease agreement with an expiration date and no guaranteed renewal. The Declaration of Independence calls certain truths self-evident and certain rights inalienable, meaning they cannot be legitimately taken away. Not by a president, not by Congress, not by a court, not by a corporation, not by a mob. But if politicians can grant them or revoke them based on the next election cycle, then they were never inalienable to begin with. They were just favors, and favors are not rights. So let me be completely unambiguous. We do not have proper institutional recognition of our inalienable rights right now. We have, in our governing structure, a long list of conditional privileges, and the conditions change depending on who is in power, who is paying for the campaign, who is popular on social media, who has a lawyer, who has a bank account, who has the right papers, who is willing to be quiet, who is convenient to protect, and who is easy to sacrifice. Now that's not a republic. That's a system of political whims dressed up in patriotic language. The Constitution of the United States of America was not written to decorate power. It was written to restrain it. The Bill of Rights exists precisely so that no president, no agency, no billionaire, no corporation, and no political party has the authority to decide who gets due process, equal protection, bodily autonomy, free speech, privacy, the right to vote, freedom of worship, freedom to assemble, the ability to exist safely and freely in public life. Those restraints on power, which are the exact shape and border of our freedoms, are supposed to hold, no matter who wins the election. This is the clearest sign we have that the republic as we have known it is no longer entirely in our grasp. If we want to have institutions that protect actual rights, not permissions, not privileges, not temporary courtesies extended by the powerful, then we must build a system in which no one has the power to take them away to begin with. That means enforce the Constitution as actual law, not as a suggestion. That means protect voting rights as if democracy depends on them, because it does. That means end warrantless surveillance, restore due process for every person on American soil, hold corrupt officials accountable regardless of party, get big money out of politics so our rights are not auctioned to the highest bidder, and stop pretending that democracy can survive on vibes and good intentions while the legal architecture is being quietly and quickly dismantled around us. Because here's the truth most politicians won't say. Once rights become conditional for anyone, they become fragile for everyone. When the government can strip due process from an immigrant, it builds a tool that will eventually be used against a citizen. When it can silence a protester, it builds a precedent that will eventually silence a journalist. When it can surveil a religious minority, it builds an apparatus that will eventually surveil everyone. It's not paranoia. That's how power works. A constitutional government does not rule by intimidation. A free society does not require fear to function, and the moment we accept that our rights depend on the character of the person in the Oval Office, rather than the text of the foundational document that is supposed to bind them, we've already lost the republic. My name is Melissa Chowdhury. I fought across 4 federal courts to bring my husband home from illegal ICE detention when the system decided he did not deserve due process. I know what it takes to make the Constitution mean something again. And I'm running for Congress because the people deserve a representative who understands that rights are not favors, they are the foundation, and foundations do not negotiate. Care, courage, Constitution. vote Melissa for Congress. Listen to me closely.